What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Sam the Tons Baby Show Buzz. What another mega reaction? You feel me? First of all, I just want to say it's a blessed, beautiful day to be alive, man. So just appreciate that, man. Because there's somebody who didn't wake up today. I just want to tell y'all, appreciate that, man. It's just a blessing to be alive, and I hope everybody's having a beautiful day too. But we're gonna get straight to this video. Screen recording starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's get straight into it, man.
The owner of the Dallas Cowboys, obviously long-standing division rival, commented last week that the Eagles went all in this year to win the Super Bowl and will pay for it later. Well, in a very ironic moment, Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, said he got a phone call from Jimmy Johnson about this, and that Jimmy told him, quote, I said, I have no idea what Jerry means. Philadelphia has a couple of first-round picks in the draft. They've got extra picks down the road. They've got some very talented players. They've got some talented young players. So, in fact, now these are now my words, not Jimmy Johnson's words. The Eagles, if the quarterback is who we think he may be, could actually be set up to have a little bit of a dynastic run in front of them. Wow. We're not paying for it later. Right now, you tell me what says they shouldn't be the team to beat in the NFC for the next 3 or 4 years.
History.
Well, yeah, that's the only thing.
You know what? That's what normally says it. Like it just is no guarantee. When you look at what Jalen Hurts has been able to work himself into becoming, you think a quarterback like that, surrounded with the right people, can continue to have a team in this position to win Super Bowls year after year. But they're going to have to continue to progress in what they can do schematically. Jalen Hurts isn't always going to be able to run the football as we've seen him this season. Does this passing game continue to take the next step? Can you continue to put this type of pressure we've seen this defense put on the quarterbacks? Is C.J. Gardner-Johnson going to be back when he has an opportunity to be a free agent because you picked him up from the Saints this year and he'll be looking to cash in? So there will be some pieces you have to move around, but the one piece is this. If we believe that Jalen Hurts' ascension is something that's going to remain consistent, this team should be in it. But it's the exact same thought you have when Nick Foles takes this team to a quarterback in the year that Carson Wentz plays at an MVP level. You expect that team to be back. You expect Doug Peterson to continue to be the coach in the way that Andy Reid was. And all.
I want to say this though. You have a lot of young talent, like they just said, bro. You're gonna be good for a minute, bro. We have a lot of young talent on the Philadelphia Eagles team, bro. A lot of young talent, bro. Future draft picks too. So there's gonna be more younger players, bro. We have a really young football team, bro.
Those things changed when the quarterback regressed. So if Jalen Hurts continues to ascend and now you can still put these pieces around him, I think this team is in this conversation.
Well, look, all the great young quarterbacks in the NFL are in the AFC. That's the point on the other side of the ledger. Right now, the only one you put on that level would be Hurts if he continues to ascend.
I think if the Eagles don't become a dynasty, it's a disappointment. The way the roster is built. So in 2020, this was a bad roster. Howie Roseman rebuilt this roster in 2 years. And to RC's point, that they have got a great young nucleus. They've got 2 first-round picks this year. Jalen Hurts is we have never seen Jalen Hurts stand still. He's never plateaued. In the 6 or 7 years we watched him play football, he's only gotten better. I think there's a couple questions to see if this actually can happen. Number one, how long do Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce play? That's a huge part of this conversation. But they do such a good job of drafting and development offensive linemen in Philadelphia. You feel okay about it? Yeah. I've had this conversation with RC a little bit. Deep down inside, I'm like, I wonder what the Eagles do with Jalen Hurts. I felt that way till this week with Jeffrey Lurie's comments, because they've gone to the Super Bowl twice in the last 6 seasons, both times rookie quarterback deals. And I was interested to see, well, do they believe that that's the model? We're doing it no matter who the quarterback is. I don't care how great the quarterback is or how we're going to take the rookie quarterback, build the roster, blah, blah, this and that. Now, Jeffrey Lurie said he don't need to do anything to prove himself anymore. He's exactly what he wants. So that makes me think they're going to pay Jalen. And then how much of the shoulder injury do they believe has to dictate how they use Jalen in the future? Because he hasn't been the same player since.
That makes sense.
And do they sit there and go, you know what, the shoulder injury almost derailed the season last year. We got to use him as a runner less in the future, and then that does make their offense less dangerous than it is going to be when it comes to Super Bowl caliber performances.
It's such a big part of what he does. You made the great point this morning in our call, Dan Graziano, about the Eagles did the one thing that Jerry himself seems never to be willing to do.
He went and got the stud receiver. Well, I mean, Jerry did it.
Thank you. Jerry, you know, he just likes to make headlines. He likes to, as long as he making that good money, bro, for the He don't care, man. He don't care about it. They win or lose, bro. We all know Jerry's a money man. All he care about is getting that check, boy.
Once upon a time, like he traded for Amari Cooper
and it worked
mid-season, but he didn't do it this year, and obviously they've come under fire for that. You know, he's talking about all in. This is an Eagles team that, to Dan's point, was built the right way. You know, and they're leaning on some key veterans and some young guys. I look at the two rosters. First of all, we've been doing this show long enough that like, what's the one thing we know about the NFC East in 2023?
No one ever wins it
the Eagles aren't going to win it.
Right.
So how can you be a dynasty if you can't even win back-to-back division titles, which no one in the NFC East can do? Anyway, the
That's your favorite thing to say.
That was before Jalen Hurts.
Because it's always right, yeah. The Eagles are tight to the cap, and they do have some questions. Some age, you know, Kelsey, Lane Johnson, some age on defense, Fletcher Cox, guys that are going to have to be replaced. I look at these two Super Bowl rosters and the young guys the Chiefs are leaning on, and I think they're actually better set up for the future than just looking at the contract structures and what you can do flexibility-wise, especially once you pay the quarterback, which I think the Eagles will do.
The pushback is the conference. Who in the NFC has the quarterback and the roster?
But
There's
these things
one
change
team.
quickly. Like, what if Justin Fields all of a sudden is a super? You know what I mean? Like,
that's fair.
These things
That's
can
fair.
happen.
San Francisco is always going to be in the conversation, but we'll see what they do at quarterback. I think right now Philly's so far ahead.
I think if the Philadelphia Eagles win this game, Jason Kelsey walks off. You play your brother in the Super Bowl, you get another Super Bowl ring. I think he's done. And if he's done, now replacing Jason Kelsey, who I feel is as much a part of this running game being dynamic as Jalen Hurts is, will be a huge piece going forward in the future.
But they drafted his replacement last year. I mean, they're
Kelsey
all
picked them, right?
Yeah.
A reminder, they have 2 first-round picks in this year's draft, which doesn't mean they have to draft 2 players there. It also means they can package those and move back. There are a lot of offensive linemen, particularly tackles, that are going to go in the first round of this year's draft. So they could be looking in that direction there as well. Look, if not them, then who in the next 5 years? Sunday, on the Kansas City side, you've got Patrick Mahomes, who collected his 2nd MVP award last night, got 48 of the 50 first place votes. He led the league in passing yards and touchdowns and in QBR. You don't need me to tell you who he is. Then there's Jalen Hurts, finished 2nd this year in MVP.
Yes,
He's had an impressive season in his own right, won 14 of the 15 games he started in the regular season. So it's a potentially historic quarterback matchup. It's the 4th time since the merger that 2 quarterbacks meet in the Super Bowl after finishing 1st and 2nd in MVP voting. By the way, the runner-up, and that's good news for Jalen Hurts, has won each of the previous 3. Meanwhile, Mahomes, while trying to make sure that doesn't happen, will try to join this ridiculously illustrious list. If he wins, he would have multiple titles and multiple MVPs in his first 6 seasons. No football player has ever accomplished that. Look at the names on the screen. Immortals only looking to join a list with Bill Russell and Wayne Gretzky and Joe DiMaggio and others on it as we come to you this morning. And our program is presented all week long by DraftKings, and delighted to have them with us. And Danny, I will start with you. We talk about a list that includes Wayne Gretzky and all of these, literally the greatest players in the history of sports. So what does Patrick Mahomes have at stake with a win here on Sunday?
Just trying to get a Super Bowl championship. It is not immortality. It is not his legacy on the line. If Patrick retired today, he's likely in the Hall of Fame. What he's accomplished, he's gone to 5 straight conference championship games. He's got 2 MVPs. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's gone to the Super Bowl 3 out of the last 4 years. He's broken statistical. He's doing things historically we have never done. I don't want us to fall into this 3-4 year or 3-4 decade conversation of, well, the quarterback always has been and always will be tied to the ultimate end goal. I don't like when we do that. I don't think it's fair to a position that is the most dependent position in all professional sports. Patrick Mahomes is trying to go get a Super Bowl, but for me, it has
I ain't
nothing
even gonna
to
lie
do
to
with
y'all
the
boys. I'm not finna sit here and watch them boys talk about the Chiefs, man. That's gonna conclude this reaction, man. Drop a big like on this video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. If you are new, make sure that post notification bell is on all so you know if I post on my videos, man. Hope, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, spread that positive energy, and I promise that energy gonna come back to you, man. Hope everybody's having a blessed one, and even if you're not, spread that positive energy, man. But besides that, I'm getting up out of here. It's me, boy, Sam with 2 tons. God bless y'all.